welcome to another episode of Vermont's 100 Covered Bridges. Today we're at the Middle Bridge, which is in Woodstock. So the town of Woodstock is renowned for being the Christmas town of Vermont. Hundreds of tourists come in December, and this is one of the star attractions. You'll often see it on Christmas cards or other souvenirs relating to Christmas and Woodstock. And what a house to live in there, I must say, with having this as a view. So let's go and find out what it's about. It looks an old bridge, but looks can be deceiving. So let's go and have a look and see what we can find. Of course, one of the easily noticeable features is the footbridge on the on my left-hand side. We've only seen that once before, and that was at the Creamy Bridge in Brattleboro, my local bridge, and that was in episode 2. So let's go and take a look. I think Bon Jovi has been here. Here we have a lovely little notice board that says several covered bridges spanned the Ottauquechee River at this point. And I'll come on to that as we walk down. So it was actually an iron bridge. It was built in 1877. And this bridge was built to replace the iron bridge. And this bridge was actually built in 1969. So, I mean, it's still 55 years old, but it looks a lot older. So, of course, you may be asking, well, how can it be a historical bridge if it's 55 years old? And, of course, I've got an answer to that. And we will come across this quite a few times on our journey, that bridges that aren't 100 years old or however many years old are deemed as historic. Now, the get-out clause, if that's the right word, for a bridge to be less than 50 years old but still be historic, is that it's truly authentic. It's made, using the exact same material, the exact same design and styles as bridges were in the mid to late 1800s. And this one certainly satisfies all the requirements going to be included as an historic bridge. In fact, this was the first authentic covered bridge built on a Vermont highway since 1895. And the engineer who built it was clearly pleased that he'd made history, because it was the first time that a iron bridge had been replaced by a wooden bridge, because usually it's the other way around. I shouldn't really say it's funny, because it wasn't funny. One ironic tale to this bridge is it was only 5 years old in 1974, and the local fire crew were actually on their way with their Christmas, the fireman's ball, and they got a call saying that this bridge was on fire. Arsonists had actually set fire to the bridge and severely damaged it. The bridge was closed for 2 years, and the same builder who made it in 1969 came and repaired it again, and 2 years later, here we are, open again. One of the interesting things about the 3 juveniles who were caught and taken to court is they were spared jail. And the reason they were spared jail is because the judge wanted them to continue working. The reason he wanted to continue them working is because he fined them a third of their wages for 2 years. So they had to pay back to society what they took. So well done to the judge on that one. And the success of the building of this middle bridge has resulted in 17 new bridges being built to replace bridges that have either been lost by Storm Irene trucks going through them, which we saw at the Hall Covered Bridge. So yeah, so since this was being built in 1969, and it was the first on the highway since 1895, a further 17 have been built over highways to keep the traffic going over these rivers. And now I'm facing a little dilemma in that access into the water is only via private gardens. On the side where that house is, there's not really much access because, as you may be able to see here, there's a drop down. But on this side, clearly, there is access. And I don't know whether to put my best UK accent on. I say, chap, can I access your land to access the river? Yeah, I may go and knock on a door. I'm either going to get told where to go or be met with open arms. We'll see, one or the other. See you soon. So I have access to water, and when I'm looking out for, and I must stress, I didn't use private land to get in here. If you can probably see in the middle of that picture, there's a duck, and that was my biggest threat. I had to bypass it, and it wasn't happy, but I couldn't go much further out because it was going to go over the waders. But you can see I'm not far from the bridge, but I'm not there yet, and I've got to get out. So it's a lot shallower on the inside as the water goes faster around the bend on the outside. So I'm just sticking here on the inside as I get ever nearer to underneath the bridge. And here I am at the bottom of the middle bridge. And as I actually go under the bridge, all the rocks have disappeared and it's sand and I'm sinking. So, I mean, look at this as a size of that as a rock face. And obviously, the bridge is resting on something that I can't quite see. Well, actually, I can over there. The concrete. See if I can zoom in. Yeah. Those concrete blocks, whatever they're called, with sort of, they look like railway sleepers on top. Sorry about that. Go a bit higher. Yeah, so they're obviously on both sides. Yeah, you can see what I'm calling a railway sleeper that clearly isn't, but they look like that. Yeah. It's just a sheer slab of concrete on the outside. Let's zoom back out. Sort of rock all put together and then just cast in concrete. Hopefully you can hear the car going over. It's like an old wooden roller coaster you used to have at the fairground. And here I am, directly under the bridge. Just saw this on the outside of the abutment. It goes up to 20 feet. Thankfully, not today. I'm wondering if there's a better way out that way. Although the river looks a lot deeper on the outside. So as I mentioned at the Lincoln Bridge, it's the Ottaquechee River. So it's 41 miles long and heading directly into the Connecticut River. Okay, so I've got a decision to make. I could go back that way. I don't want to disturb the duck. If it was a swan, I wouldn't have even crossed its path. I'd have just gone back and probably I'd have found another way on. But I don't want to go back. I don't like disturbing nature and upsetting nature. So I'm going to go and try and find another way back. Hopefully, I'll meet you back on the bridge very soon. We'll see. So, as you can see, I'm back on the bridge. No, I'm not going to tell you how. All I'll say is two things. One is the duck wasn't disturbed, thankfully. And the second thing is, I wish I'd gone down the way I came back up. It would have been a lot easier. But it was an adventure. And the real bonus is, because I was quite deep, that's the deepest I've been in any of the rivers. And I'm dry. That little patch has done the business. Oh, there's a thing here. I'll turn it around. The plaque here, designed and built in 1968-69 by Milton Grattan and his two sons of Ashland, New Hampshire. The first authentic highway covered bridge. Yeah, I explained all that. Burned 11th of May 1974. Oh, I thought it was the Christmas ball. It was just a fireman's ball. And rebuilt in 1976. Now, Grattan Associates, they also did the Bartonsville Bridge as well as the Hall covered bridge when that truck went through it. So there's not too many covered bridge builders around these days. Milton Grattan, his little company, certainly the main one. If you are coming here, and I recommend, it's a wonderful town. Like I say, I'll just turn the camera around. It's very hard. You just can't pull up here because that lane going out that way and the people coming in this way. So you can't just stop and pull up in your Jeep and start talking nonsense about bridges. If you want a day out and you're looking for all the fast food restaurants and you're looking for all the top chains that sell all your sportswear and all that sort of stuff, then Woodstock isn't for you. By the way, this isn't Woodstock as in Love and Peace Man and Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin. That's Woodstock, New York. This is Woodstock, definitely in Vermont. So I've reached a landmark. This is the 25th bridge that I've filmed at. So I'm a quarter of the way and I've got 75 left, 3/4 of the way to go. So yeah, nice bridge to celebrate my 25th. And here's to the next 25. So definitely worth a visit because again, there's 4 covered bridges and we've only seen 2. So it's time to wrap up and make my way to the next bridge. Oh, you may notice a slight change of shirt and no waders and whatever. It's because I actually missed this bit off and I came back 4 weeks later to film it. So that's the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Another great bridge. The Middle Bridge. I did wonder why it was called the Middle Bridge. And you won't be surprised to know that there are 3 bridges in the town centre of Woodstock. And guess where this one is strategically placed? You got it. So that's where we got the name from. Anyway, thanks again to Vermont Covered Bridge Society tremendous support. I know I say it every week, but it needs saying every week. Please come and support us, and thanks very much.